So welcome back. We were discussing about the concept of journal and ledger, and so far we have covered the concept of journal. You know what journal is, how postings are made, how entries are made in the journal. Journal is the primary book of accounts where the entries are made when the transactions are made. So transactions are recorded chronologically in a journal. Means when the date transactions are made. So as per the date transactions are made are recorded in the journal first. And journal contains different types of accounts, and it mentions which account is to be debited and which account to be credited. So journal records, keep the records, complete records, with the account to be credited, the account to be debited, and the narration or description about those transactions. So this is the journal. Then after a certain period, accounts are required to be transferred in the ledger. And ledger is the principal book of account, final book of account, where the entries from the journals are posted, and this process is called posting in journal posting. And all the records are kept permanently in a ledger. So ledger is the principal book of account, where the postings from the journal are made. In an account, transactions of one nature are posted. You know very well, if it is a cash transaction, so all cash transactions will be posted in the cash account. If it is the furniture account, so all items related to furniture will be posted in the furniture account. So in a particular type of account, all such transactions are recorded of having the similar nature in that account. So in an account, transactions of one nature are posted. In one account, different types of transactions can never be maintained. If it is cash, it will be cash. If it is furniture, it will be furniture. If it is building, then it will be building. If it is salary, so it will be salary. So in salary account, only salaries will be entered, not the furniture or other accounts. So journalization or ledger is a systematic recording, scientific recording of the transactions which are of similar nature in one account. All the accounts put together constitute a ledger. So we have different kinds of accounts. We maintain different kinds of accounts in a journal. Journal has subsidiary accounts like cash accounts, purchase returns accounts, credit accounts, debtors accounts. Number of accounts are there. Those all are subsidiary accounts. And all accounts put together constitute a ledger. So ledger is a combination of all accounts. It is the record of all accounts. A ledger is a book which contains a permanent record, as I told you, of all transactions in a summarized and classified. So it contains summarized and classified records. Records are maintained properly after making an analysis and then with due summary. So it is a ledger. It is the book which is used to prepare a trial balance, and from the trial balance, financial statements are prepared. So it is the ledger which is approached while preparing a trial balance, and then from trial balance, other financial statements are prepared. What is trial balance? That we will discuss in the next class. So ledger is also called the principal book of accounts. We have already discussed. Then what is the utility of ledger? So ledger is very useful, as you know. It contains all the records, all permanent records. So it is an evidence of all permanent records. A ledger is the principal book of account that contains all details about the business. If someone wants to know about the transactions, about the business transactions, then he should refer to the ledger and he will get the details of those accounts. The date of transactions, the type of transaction, which account was debited, which account was credited. All this kind of information can be obtained from the ledger. It is essential for preparation of final accounts as it provides necessary information about various accounts. So it is the ledger which contains all necessary information after proper analysis and summarization, and that is what it is referred to when final accounts are being prepared. Then personal account in the ledger shows how much amount of money the firm owes to its creditors and the amount it has to recover from the debtors. So, there are three types of accounts: personal accounts, real accounts, and nominal accounts. Personal accounts relates to the individuals, maybe a person or a business entity. So, personal accounts is always refers to an individual's account. That individual may be a person itself or a business. So personal account in ledger shows how much amount of money the firm owes. The firm has to pay to its creditors when the purchase is on credit, or when the firm has sold the items, goods to the debtors. So it has to recover the money from the debtors, and therefore personal accounts reflects what the firm owes or what it has to be recovered. Then the real accounts depict the value of properties and the value of stock. As you know, real stock relates to the assets, the properties, and thus it depicts the value of the property or the value of the stock, because any business has the assets in the form of either properties or in the form of goods or stocks. So then the third account is nominal accounts. And nominal accounts depicts the source of income. Nominal accounts relates to income and losses, expenses, and gains. So nominal accounts depict the source of income, where from the income is coming, and also the amount spent on various items. Spent on. Keep in mind, it is spent on various items, means it shows the expenses in carrying out the business, during the carrying out the business. Either it is manufacturing or it is different kind of business, but when the expense is made to carry out the business, then it relates to the nominal account. So it shows, nominal account shows the source of income, from where the income is coming, and then also the amount spent on various items. And the process of transferring the information from the journal to the ledger is called posting. So if the term posting is used in accounting, it refers transfer of entries from journal to ledger. Then while we go for posting, that is using the entries recorded in the journal to transfer them into the ledger, is called posting, and it involves certain steps. And steps in posting of account debited in a journal entry. What are the steps when we debit an entry, a journal entry into the ledger? So first is, you must be knowing that there are two aspects, debit and credit. So it relates to debited. Steps in posting of account debited in a journal. When we make an entry in a journal, then we write the account which has been debited. And then in the next line, we write the account which is to be credited. So it relates to the account which has been debited in the journal. So keep it in mind. And it relates to, these steps relates to those accounts. So the first is identify the ledger, the account to be debited. We clearly mention in ledger, in journal, that which account is to be debited or credited. So identify those. Identify those debited accounts which is to be debited in the ledger. Enter the date of transaction in the date column on the debit side. It is usual process. We need to maintain the records of the date also. So we enter the date, then write the name of the account that has been credited in the respective entry in a particular column on the debit side of the account, as 2 followed by the name of account to be credited. Now, please recall the journal entries. Please recall the format of the journal entry. In journals, under particular columns, what we write? We write the name of the account that has been credited. In the particular side, we write the name of the accounts, and there are 2 entries. First account which are debited, and then followed by the accounts which are to be credited. So here it refers to Which account? Name of the account that has been credited. So it is written in the second line after debit. So has been credited in the respective entry in the particulars column on the debit side of the account as to followed by the name of account to be credited. Record the page number of the journal where the entry exists in the journal folio column. So in ledger, then we under GF, under the page number, we write the page number of the journal and then enter the relevant amount in the amount column on the debit side. So here is a twist. Here is a twist. You might have noticed or not. Here is a twist. What is the twist? Just keep on thinking. Otherwise, I will explain in the next slide. So just think. These 5 steps, what is the twist? What is the difference in journal and when posting the entries into the ledger? What is the difference? And this difference lies in the step 3. So please, once again, you try to understand the step 3. Step 3 is write the name of the account that has been credited in the respective entry in the particulars column on the debit side of the account as to followed by the name of the account to be credited. So please recall, please remind. I will not explain at this juncture. You just think, and then I am proceeding to the next slide. Then it is just opposite. That was related to the account to be debited, and this relates to the posting of account that is to be credited in a journal entry. So ये किससे संबंधित है? ये उससे संबंधित है जिसे जर्नल में हमने क्रेडिट कर रखा है. So these steps are related to the accounts which has been credited in the journal. So just a moment. So which has been credited in the journal. Then again, what we do? We enter the dates as usual. Then in third again, write the name of the account that has been debited in the respective entry. Write the name of the account that has been debited in the respective entry. I am again repeating. Please be careful here. All tricks lie in this third column only, third points only. Write the name of the account that has been debited in the respective entry in the particulars column on the credit side of the account as by followed by the name of account to be debited. And then record the page number of the journal where the entry exists in the journal folio. This is simple. And enter the relevant amount in the amount column on the credit side. And then write the amount of the transaction which has been made. So this is the third point only. And here, what happens? What happens? The account which has been debited in the journal, please notice, the account which has been entered under particular column in the journal and which is to be or which has been debited, followed by DR, that account is entered in ledger, posted in ledger as a credit account. So it is just reverse to that. The account which has been debited in the journal is credited in the ledger, and it is credited by prefixing what? By. So we prefix by and then write the name of the account to be debited. So the account to be debited in the ledger is prefixed by, and the account which is to be credited in the ledger is prefixed by to. So this is to be noticed. Please remember, please keep it in mind. It is simply the entry from journal to ledger, and the account credited in journal is debited in ledger, and while debiting we put by before writing the name of the account. And similarly, the account which is to be credited in the ledger is prefixed by to. So this is simple. Just you try to understand. It is just opposite The account in ledger, debit account, here it becomes credit account. So then next step is balancing a ledger. When we prepare a ledger, after a certain period, after a year or a certain period, it is required to be balanced. And the rule is all debits should be equal to all credits. So it has two sides. A ledger also has two sides, debit side and credit side. And the total of debit side should be equal to the total of credit side. It should be matching, it should be equal, it should commensurate. So balance of an account is the difference between the debit and credit totals of an account. Sometimes it is possible that there may be a difference between the total of debits and total of credits. This should not happen. But due to certain reasons, the reasons we will explain later. So due to certain reasons or errors, it is possible that there may be a difference between the total of the debits and total of the credits. And balancing is nothing. It is the difference between the total of debits and total of credits. We minus debits, we can go for subtracting debit from credit, and if the sum is 0, means there is no problem, both are matching. If there is a difference, then we need to balance the account. And accounts are balanced every year, as I told you, or after a certain intervals, after posting of those transactions. It is done to ascertain the net effect of entries in the accounts. It is essential to find out whether the entries are made correctly. What is the net effect, whether the debit and credits are matching. So to find out the net effect, to see the net effect, balancing is done. Balancing is always done for the accounts which are posted in the ledger. So it relates to ledger. Always remember that balancing, when we refer balancing, when we say balancing, means it is related with ledger, and it is simply the matching the total of debits and total of credits, and if there is any difference, so we need to balance. Balancing an account implies that both the sides of an account has been totaled, and the difference in the total of the two sides is written on the side whose total is sought. So suppose we make total of all debits and we make total of all credits, and if credit side total is short, suppose the total of all debits is 25,000 and total of all credits is 20,000. So what happens? Credit side is short by 5,000. So we write the 5,000 in the credit side to make the total matching with the debit, because it is the rule that all debits should be equal to the all credits. So here, to find out the net effect, and the net effect is that the credit is short by 5,000, and to depict that, we write rupees 5,000 in the credit side, because there it is short, so that the total becomes equal. For instance, if the total of the debit side is more than credit side of an account, the difference amount is recorded as balance CD on the credit side, right? If there is shortage, this is the example. Please read this example carefully. If the total of the debit side is more than credit side, means debit is exceeding and credit side is short, side on an account, the difference amount is recorded as balance CD, the credit side. So at the last, we write balance CD, then followed by 5,000 on the credit side, because credit side is short. If the total of the debit side of an account is greater than account indicated, then we say it is debit balance. Means the account which has greater amount is the account which is debit balance. This shows the debit balance. If the total of the credit side of an account is greater than account indicates credit balance. So if the total of the debits are more, then we will say there is a debit balance. If the total of credit is more, then we will say that there is a credit balance. So debit and credit balance is nothing. It is simply when the debit balance is more, when the total of debit is more, it is debit balance, and when the total of credit is more, it is credit balance. The debit balance is then written. The next step is the debit balance is then written on the debit side as to balance brought down or to balance B/D. In short, we write it to balance BD. So if debit balance means debit is more. So what happens? We will write in the credit side the amount by which the debit side is exceeding, mentioning to balance brought down or to balance BD. So we will write first to balance BD, which becomes the opening balance for the new period. So when the next period will start, suppose I am going for balancing today. So today is 5th May. So as on 5th May, there is debit balance, means debit is more. So we will enter it at the last of the day today, that to balance BD. And then we will write the amount by which it is exceeding towards the credit side. Now the next day, suppose we will again start transactions. So this amount will be the opening balance for the next day, and there we will write what we will write. The credit balance. Sorry, and then if it is the credit balance, then again we will write balance BD. So what is the difference? When the balance is more in the debit side, we write 2. What is the preceding? Preceding is 2 balance BD, and if it is credit, then we will write by balance BD. So there is a difference. Debit balance is always written after 2 balance BD, and credit balance is written after by balance BD. Okay, and again this becomes the opening balance for the new. So if it is prepared today, so we will write at the last line that there is balance. If there is a debit balance, then we will write to balance BD, and it is 5,000, so we will write 5,000. If it is credit balance, then we will write by balance BD. Credit is more, and then we will write the amount, and the same amount will become the opening account, opening for the next opening balance for the next day, next transaction, and there we will write again, mention this. Note only real and personal accounts. It is also important to understand that only real and personal accounts are to be balanced. There is no need to balance the nominal accounts, because at the end of the accounting period, the total are transferred to profit and loss accounts. So ultimately, when we go for preparing the final accounts, then the accounts maintained as a real account, all those transactions are finally transferred in the form of profit or loss. So it goes there. So only real and personal accounts are required to be balanced. And while balancing, we simply go for adding the both sides. If the debit side is more, then we say that there is a debit balance. If the credit side is more, we will say that there is credit balance. If the credit balance is more, then the amount by which debit balance falls short, that is written in the debit side. And while debiting that, we write to balance BD. If the credit side is short, debit is more, then we write the same amount, writing by balance BD and then mentioning the amount. Okay, every day this looks. So then, process of balancing ledger and accounts. Ledger accounts. What is the process? So what we have explained so far is shown in this graph here. So while going for the balancing of an ledger accounts, we start with total both of the sides of a ledger account. And a ledger account has two sides, debit and credit. So we total all debits and we total all credits. This is the first step. Then the second is find out the difference. If there is any difference, only then we go for balancing. If there is no difference, then there is no question of balancing, because it is already matching, both sides are equal, so balancing is not required. If there is any difference, then we say which account falls short or which account has more amount. So if debit is more, then we will say that it is debit balance. If credit is more, then we will say credit balance. And then next step is, if debit side total is more than that of credit side, write the difference of the account side as by balance CD. I have already mentioned there. So you write the amount, that account, and then write by balance CD and then mention the amount. If credit side total is more than that of debit side, write the difference on the credit side as here in the place of by, here we write 2. So here it is 2 balance CD. Okay. Then the next step is make the total of debit side equal to credit side. So we put that short amount in the column where it is short, the side where it is short, and to make the total equal, both side total equal. So this is the second step. Make the total of debit side equal to credit side by putting those short falling amounts. Then after the total, it is customary that we put a double line after the total. So we mention double line there so that we can identify that here the summarization has been, here the balancing has been done. Then the next step is bring forward the balance on the next step. So this is the step which is followed when we are doing balancing. So if we are doing balancing today on 5th, then we will write the we will balance the accounts, and if it is debit balance, then we will need by balance CD, and if it is credit balance, then write to balance CD, then write the amount, equal the both sides, and then put the double strike. So for today's our transaction, our balancing is complete. But transaction goes on next day also, we have to, or after some part time we have to do transactions. So when we start new transactions, the same account, same amount will become the opening balance for the transactions. So there, what we do in the next page, before starting the next transaction, what we do, if debit balance, debit balance, debit is more, amount of the debit side is more, then while opening a balance, we write there, what we write in the debit side. Previously, we were writing by balance. Here, we are writing to balance BD. There, it was written balance CD. Now, it is balance BD. So, while we are closing the account, balancing the account, while we are closing the day on which we were closing, we are making balancing. There, we were writing by balance CD. When again we are going to open the account, while opening a new balance, then we just reverse it and we start opening entry by writing to balance BD. If the debit balance is more, if the credit balance is more, then we write to balance CD. So again, both side 2, here no tricks, no differences. These are 2, but here if the balance towards debit side is more, so we write to balance BD, and if the credit is more, then we write to balance BD. So this is all about, this is the process of balancing ledger accounts. So you know about the ledger accounts, you know about the ledger posting, you know about the process of balancing ledger account. I was very engaged today, so I could not send you the assignment, but I am working on the assignment. I will send you by today evening, or by tomorrow evening. I will definitely send you some assignments. So please go through the assignments. Please read the literatures on the net, or if you have any book, try to understand, try to discuss with me. So this is simple. It is just a matter of practice. If you practice, then you will be perfect. So practice makes perfect. Try to practice as much as possible. It is confusing because we are learning this first time, but once you start practicing, when you will try to understand that it is simple step, sometimes the the entries in the journal is entered, posted in the ledger, and just we reverse the process. So it is nothing that much complicated, but practice is essentially required. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand. The trick is that you try to understand the nature of the accounts, what type of accounts it is, and which account is to be debited, which account is to be credited. Once you know the debit and credit rules, so post it in the journal. Once you have entered correctly in the journal, then it is very easy to post it in the ledger. Simple. We have all the accounts, so we need to post it in the ledger for the meant for maintaining the permanent account and preparing the advance statements of final accounts in the latter stage. So there is nothing complicated. Don't worry, it is simple. Just try to practice, try to read, try to understand. I hope you have taken my words. You have understood what I have stated to you. Practice is essential. If I do not see this for some period, then I also get confused. So it is very important. Before taking class, I go 1 hour. I start at least to concentrate, think about these things. It is essential because we need to arrange our ideas, and same is applied for you also. So you go, you just practice, you think, you just try to understand, and I am sure you will definitely be able to understand. No? Hello. So thank you very much. We will again meet tomorrow. If you have any queries, please discuss. You can write separately to me, or we can discuss. You can call me if you have any problem. No problem. Just first you go through these slides. I will mail these slides because it was not completed, so I didn't mail you. Now it is, this section is complete. So I will mail you these slides. After a few days, these videos will be also uploaded. So please go through this. All the best. Be safe. God bless you. Thank you.